You know, when you think about it, what's happening deep inside your computer is kind of like a living thing. At its very core, you've got the processor, the CPU, and it has this constant rhythmic heartbeat, a super simple 3-beat pulse that literally brings the entire machine to life.
In that pulse, it's the answer to the biggest question in computing, right? How does a simple line of code, just text on a screen, turn into a real, actual action? How does send an email or jump in a video game actually happen? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
So here's the game plan. We'll start with the big picture of that CPU heartbeat. Then we'll zoom in on each of the 3 stages: fetch, decode, and execute. After that, we'll look at the data highway that connects everything, and finally, we'll trace one single command on its journey from start to finish. All right, let's get into it.
So at the very root of every single thing your computer does, I mean everything from moving your mouse an inch to rendering a massive 3D world, is this one simple cycle.
And you gotta love the simplicity here. Fetch, decode, execute. That's it. It's a loop that never ever stops. A computer doesn't run a whole program at once. Nope. It just runs one tiny instruction and then immediately loops back to grab the next one. This cycle is the engine that drives the whole show.
So let's start with that first beat, fetch. It makes sense, right? Before a CPU can do anything, it needs to know what to do. It has to go and get its next command from the to-do list, which is sitting over in the computer's main memory.
Okay, I know this looks like a lot of steps, but just think of it as a perfectly organized relay race. It all starts with the program counter, or PC. This thing is basically a bookmark that always knows the memory address of the very next instruction. So that address gets copied over to the memory address register, the MAR. Then the address bus, which is just a one-way street, zips that address over to main memory. Memory finds the instruction and sends it flying back on the two-way data bus, where it lands in the memory data register, or MDR. From there, it's copied to one last spot, the instruction register, or IR, where it's ready to be analyzed. And the second that's done, the PC bookmark moves forward one spot, ready for the next loop. It's a perfect handoff every single time.
And I really can't overstate this, the program counter is absolutely crucial. Without it, the CPU would be totally lost. It wouldn't know what to do next. It's the one component that guarantees a program runs in the correct order, one step after another, keeping the whole operation on track.
All right, so we've fetched our instruction, it's sitting there in the instruction register, but it's just a bunch of ones and zeros. The CPU now has to figure out what on earth this command is telling it to do, and that brings us to the decode stage. This is where the control unit, or CU, comes in. You can think of it as the manager or maybe the brain of the CPU. It looks at the instruction and goes, okay, what do we have here? Are we doing some math, moving some data? It then marshals the troops, getting all the other parts of the CPU ready for whatever action is about to happen.
You know, every instruction really breaks down into 2 simple parts. You've got the opcode, which is the verb, it's the action, like add or store. Then you have the operand, which is the noun, it's the data or the memory address that we're doing the action to. So if you see add 205, add is the opcode, and 205 is the operand. It's the control unit's job to split this up and understand the plan.
And this, of course, brings us to the final beat of the cycle, execute. We've fetched the instruction, we've decoded it. Now, it's time to actually do the thing.
The execute stage can look pretty different depending on the instruction. If it's a math problem, the task gets sent to the arithmetic logic unit, the ALU, to get crunched. If the instruction is about moving data, the CPU will talk to memory to either load something in or store something out. Or for a jump instruction, it'll actually tell the program counter to forget about the next instruction in line and jump to a completely new address.
So, we've seen all the stages. But how does all this information, these addresses, instructions, and pieces of data, get from one place to another? Well, it all travels on a set of electrical pathways we call buses. And this is a perfect way to visualize it. It really is like an information superhighway. You've got different lanes for different kinds of traffic, and they're all working together to move information efficiently between the CPU, the memory, and everything else.
There are 3 main roads on this highway. First is the address bus. It's a one-way street. The CPU uses it to shout out an address to memory, like, hey, I need what's at location 205. Then there's the data bus. This is a big 2-way highway where the actual data and instructions can travel back and forth. And finally, you have the control bus. This is like the traffic light system for the whole city, sending out timing signals to make sure everything happens in perfect sync and nobody crashes. Okay, let's put it all together now. We're going to follow one single, simple instruction, add 205, on its complete journey through the entire cycle. Let's see it in action.
All right, here's the play-by-play. First up, fetch. The program counter's value goes to the MAR, and that address is sent to memory. The instruction, our add205, comes flying back on the data bus, lands in the IR, and the PC clicks over to the next number. Next, decode. The control unit looks at add205 and knows exactly what to do. Finally, execute. The CPU grabs the number that's stored at memory address 205, sends it over to the ALU, and the addition happens. And just like that, one cycle is done.
I know that's a whole lot of acronyms, but here's a fantastic little trick to remember the main ones. A is for address, which goes in the MAR. D is for data, which goes in the MDR. I is for instruction in the IR, and P is for the place of the next instruction, which the PC keeps track of. It's a simple little thing, but it's super helpful for keeping it all straight.
If you walk away with just one thing today, let it be this. This sentence is the whole process in a nutshell. The CPU fetches an instruction from memory, decodes it with the control unit, and then executes it. That's the core loop. That is the heartbeat of the processor.
And here's the part that just blows my mind. That entire cycle we just described, all those steps, all those registers, all those buses, it doesn't just happen once or twice. In a modern computer, it happens billions of times, every single second.
And that's really the big idea here. This simple 3-beat rhythm, when you repeat it billions of times a second, becomes the foundation for absolutely everything we think of as modern computing. From sending a text message to exploring a virtual galaxy, it all comes back to that one steady, relentless heartbeat. The next time you click your mouse, just think about the billions of cycles that made it happen in what felt like an instant.